Growing up in the late 80s and 90s, I could easily have ended up becoming the perfect child of Gordon Gekko, wanting nothing out of life than a bigger TV or car every year. But I got lucky as I had wonderful parents who made me think and taught me to go through life with my eyes wide open. And what I saw and what made me ask the critical questions were, amongst other things, the amazing and sometimes disturbing photographs which were almost etched into the consciousness of our generation. The photos by the one and only Oliviero Toscani. So, Oliviero, I believe to move forward, it's best if you have traction, if you have friction.
Yeah.
And the best traction you get when you rub different materials against each other, which then also produces heat, which you have to be able to take. And I believe this is what you partly did. You took art, real art, one that makes you think and which you can't just accept, where you have to really, get behind it, and you put it in a different context. So I still vividly remember, it's kind of etched into my memory, this photo of the clothes of this young man who has been killed in the Yugoslavian war. And you put it into a commercial context. And I remember how I had to stop, it hit me in my comfort zone, and I had to stand and think, is this kind of what you tried to do? Was this your intention?
Well, if you divide your vision in different segments or area, like you said, there is real art. What is real art? A toilet paper is real art. What is real art? You decide that this is real art. There is such a thing for me. There is communication. What is real art is believing that your mother is virgin. That was real art. That you are God or the Son of God, that's real art. Huh? And you make everybody believe in something that nobody's really, there is no proofs. So there is such a thing as real art. It's communication, and communication has to communicate. You see, I don't make any difference. I never made a difference.
Right.
For me, there is communication, and when communication gets to a point where alone I can get there, then I call it art. Huh? Alone I can get so high as Munch or Picasso, and so they took me to places where they helped me to go to places where alone I couldn't go. So that was an artist should do. There is such a thing, this museum and thing, real art. So there is nothing most commercial than modern art. Modern artists are the most commercial artists I know. There is such a thing as commercial advertising. Advertising is less commercial than real art today.
But if you want to have an impact, right, the question is, how do you package that communication? And I still believe that by bringing together different worlds, this is what creates kind of that impact.
Well, it's a question of education, We are trained to think by devised places, and I think that's wrong. The whole education is wrong about that. Of course, when watching TV and they tell you the Third World War is erupted, well, it's shocking. But it's even more shocking if the woman who tells you that the war is erupted is upside down. If she would be standing upside down, with her head down, upside down, with the hair sticking out, and tell you, now is the Third World War erupted, the first thing that would shock us is the fact that she's upside down. You see?
Yeah.
We are funny.
Right.
We are not civilized yet.
Right.
So that's why we need art.
Exactly. Well, it's an interesting subject you touch upon with TV, because I think today we live in this social media age where everything is just noise. And I actually think that Orwell got it wrong. Big Brother is not watching us. He's singing and dancing and he's pulling rabbits out of his head, just so we are absorbed, as Chuck Palahniuk said, and we don't get to think anymore in this noise age. Do you agree with that, and how do we overcome that?
Well, we think that way. I don't think we got worse. I don't think that humanity is getting worse. No, it wasn't better once. It wasn't better than today. I think tomorrow will be even better. No, we keep crying and complaining, and that's what we are not perfect. We are not civilized. So the fact that we are not civilized produces very interesting behavior. Humanity is making mistakes one after the other. We didn't do anything right somehow. We still don't do things right. We are divided by nationality, by skin color, by money. How much money have you got? We talk. We like to go. We like to go against those limits. We are full of limits. Full of limits.
But aren't they just in our head?
Sorry?
Are the limits not just in our head?
Well, no, the education. Education, because we defend ourselves. You know, we defend ourselves from minorities, we defend ourselves from strange things, we are afraid. We live in a state of fear, constantly.
And how do we overcome that?
I don't know if we ever overcome that. I'm not here to be, but we live in a state of fear. There are people who are especially complex about that.
But isn't that your theme, right? You always try to show the diversity, and when I remember those photos, the ones you did, where for the first time you brought everybody together, all the ethnicities, and you showed the beauty of the variety rather than the scary part of the unfamiliar.
But there is still even a beauty of the tragedy. Think of the Pietà of Michelangelo. The Pietà is the worst situation a human being could be. It's nice, this bird, huh?
Yeah.
It's been organized, huh? It's not... I told him to come right now to cuckoo.
Very good.
You know what the cuckoo will eat? He put the eggs in somebody else's
nest.
The best. I would like to make a magazine like that.
Yeah, it's a cunning idea, and it works.
No, but we are running after ourselves. We are surrounded by false problem constantly. False problem. You know, we waste our time. You know, when I think of politics, all the time it's so difficult. You know, of course, probably because you don't need to be particularly smart to be a politician. There are very exceptional politicians who are really smart. Otherwise, when you are mediocre, you can do nothing, but you do politics. And so we are limited by this kind of people. But they are really retarded people.
Well, it's another thing you've been saying. It's the consensus, right? And this is what people have agreed on. And in this case, consensus is mediocrity, and mediocrity is keeping us from progress and from making a change.
Running after consensus is the thing. Everybody is looking for consensus, and doing that, you produce mediocre work. You have to have the courage. You shouldn't be afraid to be afraid. You should go for it.
But that leads back to the education, because the entire education is geared towards consensus, right?
No, to conform.
Yes.
They ask you to conform.
Well, it goes back to the 19th century when all of those educational
the
programs were...
tell you to conform, the school tell you to conform, your religion tell you to conform, you have to conform.
Everybody wanted a nice citizen, you know, just standing in line, being another brick in the wall.
In Switzerland, for example, everything that is not forbidden is obligatorisch. Was nicht verboten ist obligatorisch. That's Switzerland.
Yes.
Fantastic. You haven't got any other choice in between.
Right.
In Italy, at least, we make mistakes, but nobody. You can make mistakes. You know, you have too much civilized in Switzerland.
Yeah, you know, there's another Orwell quote. You know, in Italy they had hundreds of years of war, but they got, you know, all of this development, and we had peace and love for hundreds of years, and we got the Cuckoo's Watch, which is actually from the Black Forest and not from Switzerland. But, yeah, I mean, that's the problem. I mean, if you want to have nice museums, if you want to have sort of new things, this is not where you go, right?
The whole Europe should be a Swiss canton.
Yeah.
I would make all Europe a new Swiss canton in Switzerland. Huh?
Well, actually, I think there's some truth in that. Obviously, I'm biased, but if you look at it, Switzerland shouldn't exist. Huh? We have different languages, different religions, everything that was there for 1,000 years of war.
The country has got the highest percentage of immigration. You know that?
Yes.
58%.
Yeah.
I might do a work about that.
But it works, you know, because
Oh,
what
yeah.
you had is somebody from Ticino
Lucky.
can barely speak with somebody from Geneva.
Yeah, yeah.
But they have a minimum consensus, right? The
Yeah.
very minimum consensus. And otherwise, it's basically a subsidiarity. Everybody gets to do what they want on a regional
Right.
level. And I think it is a good model for Europe, but obviously there's a lot of history to overcome first before we get there. So you said before an interesting thing, and that is mediocrity and consensus,
Yeah.
right? And you know, sort of everything that surrounds us. And I think this is what you have been going against, and you've
Yeah.
seen it with the success
You
you've
have
had.
to go against that.
And once you didn't do it anymore, things went down. But you hardly see it anymore these days. So do you think there's a backlash? This is coming back?
I don't know if it's coming. Nothing's coming back. Nothing's coming back. It's impossible. This is a strange action coming back. You can't come back. So we have to change. We have to evolve. We will be laughing at what's happening today. Some years, I hope. We say, look how stupid we were. You know. Look in Italy. What's happening now is ridiculous. Ridiculous. We cannot be more stupid than that. After Berlusconi, we started to ruin Italy. Now we even got worse than Berlusconi. We can go even deeper than make me laughing, you know. I have to laugh.
But it kind of brought you back on the stage, right? Because now you have
yeah.
changed your position again.
Now it's very interesting because I know that they're not going to win. The future doesn't belong to them. No. We have to be able to see or to imagine what's happening. You know, imagine. This is actually the problem. How much time do we dedicate during the day about imagining? Not anymore. No, especially young people. As soon as the minute they go after the telephone, the computer, there is no time given to imagination. And if you want to feel the future, I don't say understand but just to feel what's going to be. You have to imagine. You have to close your computer and close your eyes probably, or just look at the wall, and then you have to start to imagine. Make your own movie. And imagining is the most beautiful thing. It's cheap. It doesn't cost anything. You can imagine the most incredible, the most expensive, the most outrageous. You can do it. But we don't dedicate time to that, and that doesn't help. Doesn't help the evolution. Once they had the time to imagine, much more than today, and that's what thing happened. You know.
And not to be afraid of being afraid, as you said.
Yes. Thing has been imagined in the world. Just look at the last one, for Europe. During the Second World War, Europeans were killing each other like flies, terrible. I mean, the most. There were 3 guys or 4 guys in an island, Ventotene, exiled, sitting there in 1943. Sitting there in the middle of the mess of Europe, and they say, we have to make Europe. I mean, that was the last thing you could think about. Huh? That's it. That is the future.
Imagination and daring to dream.
Yeah, that's it.
And leave the comfort
and this
zone.
is not taught. They don't teach you that in school. Of course, your parent don't let you do that because, hey, don't tell lies. You know, tell the children lies. They don't tell lies. A child can't lie. He just imagine a situation or something he would like, or imagination, and that's put in on image. So that's what we should be able to do, to develop that capacity. You know, when I think, I was born in 1942 in Italy, Milano. At that time, Italy was monarchist. We had a king. I was born under a king, a kingdom. Fascist. Italy was fascist. with the race laws, allied with the Nazis, German Nazis, and in war against the light. Then, when I was born, that was the situation. And in 1942 in Milan was the worst year. We had bombs falling from the sky from the Royal Air Force, from American, and they were dropping bombs in Milan. And now I can travel through Europe also almost without passport. Without passport.
If you're an Italian.
Yeah, no, but more or less. I mean, it's incredible. If I would have said that when I was, listen, in 70 years we will travel to Europe, they would say to my mother, look, your son is an idiot.
Right.
Nuts, not nuts, no. No, I was right. So that's what you have to be.
Right.
Come up all the time with this kind of vision, imagination, vision. You know, they keep saying, Europe is, can't do. Europe is there waiting for us. We just have to imagine how to do it. That's it, go ahead.
Right.
No, we are not able. We are not able. We are mediocre. We are mediocre little farts. That's the average of people. And they are right, you know, when you speak to them, they are right. You are wrong, I'm wrong. People are normal. They go with the norms. They're right, everybody's right.
It's again consensus, right? And people don't dare to stick out. And
I know, fabric is made for young people who are not normal. Okay? They are not normal. I don't care to having normal people here. I need the special one.
And so what's the premises? You invite them to go into uncertainty?
Difficult to find. They all conform, they all got their tattoos and their rings and they think and they dress the same and they're boring conformist. So more and more.
So with the young people you bring here to Fabrica?
Well, I invite them here and I'm looking for a special brain, special visionary.
And what do you do with them? Or do you invite them to embrace uncertainty, as I understand?
Just try to make them be what they are. If you are what you are unique. Just is a good start. Don't be afraid of yourself. And don't conform, don't follow, don't... you have to be subversive, that's it. You have to be subversive. I mean, of course, don't kill people in the street like that. No, not that. It's not a request. To be subversive doesn't mean to be violent. No, to be subversive is to subvert.
So basically that's a temple of dissident thinking, could you
Totally.
say that?
Yes.
Yeah, I like
that's what
that.
it is. And I tell you, it's not easy to find those people. Normally they're boring, they conform, they want to have success, they want to have, I don't know, they don't live. I mean, I think most of the people don't, they go through life without understanding what's happened to them.
Right, just part of the machine.
Yeah.
Not a brick in the wall.
Yeah.
Well, so it's great that there is places like that. There should be far more. We had them back in Greece and in Italy at the beginning, where you had the forum and where people came together to discuss and try out new things.
It's happened like that because I've been lucky. I belong to a generation where, you know, I got the same age as the Beatles, Rolling Stones, the rest people. So I belong to a generation who we didn't suffer war. I don't know what a war is actually. The longest peace time ever lived. We saw the evolution and getting richer, the kind of thing, and we actually was even discussing about that. I was there to all those kind of things, and it happened that I was lucky to be on the spot.
Well, it was not luck. I think you went out because a lot of people were just buying into the miracle, but you went out to San Francisco and you went to London and all those places, which a lot of people didn't do,
I
right?
was curious.
Yeah.
And I was curious. I thought I had to be there because that was my group, my tribe.
Well, it
And
was
so-
the defining elements of your generation, and you were
Yeah.
there, be it Woodstock or be it the beat times in London and so forth.
Yeah.
So you actively sought that
Yeah.
pulse
Free
of that time.
speech, free speech,
Oh, yeah.
Berkeley. No, so you have to be lucky, and you have to go after to be lucky. Okay. Because you have to go for
To
it.
make your own luck.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have to go for it. And
non-conform.
and now there are some, not so many young people, but very good, the good one, huh? Because they're really extreme. But and then there is a big mistake that society is doing with young people. We keep saying, what shall we do for the young people? Fuck, you don't have to do anything for young people. Young people have to wake up. They actually take away what they got, so they run after to get it back.
Make them hungry.
Yeah. No, what shall we do for young people? We should do something for them. I don't have to do nothing for young people. I have to give them, kick them in the ass. Yeah.
Get them out of the
That's
comfort
it.
zone.
Yeah, constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. That's what I can do for them. When we were 20-ish, we used to say, don't trust anybody over 30. Yeah.
Hope
you
I
don't-
die before I get
Yeah.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And now that I'm 70, over 70, I don't trust anybody under 70.
Well, the times they are changing, right?
Yeah.
But I think there's some truth in it. If you want to have change, if you want to have progress, evolution, revolution even, then obviously you need to move out there and you need to challenge the status quo.
Yeah, it is a spirit.
Yeah.
It is a spirit.
Maybe one further question. There was another interesting theme I've heard you talk about, and that is the relationship between art and power, which is a very difficult relationship, but you need to understand it somehow, and you had some very interesting thoughts about that.
Well, as I tell, for me, art is a very easy word. It's abused. Where there is power, what do you mean with power? Money, economy? Well, of course, when there is economy, there is a lot of power, and there is a lot of beauty, and there is a lot of art, and there is all that. But it's not just there. It's mostly there. Art get bought. You can buy art. Rich people buy art. And art shouldn't be a private property. Shouldn't be allowed. You know, those rich people has got their collection. And art is something that teach us what it's about. Art is a is a public expression.
Well, you've seen that with Keith Haring or Basquiat starting as street art, and
Yeah.
eventually they end up in private collections.
Yeah. Well, this is a tendency to buy it, to get power. So it's very strange that art became a collaborationist. That's strange. Art should be the opposite of a collaborationist. Should be there
Antagonist.
to put in discussion power all the time. No, now is there to collaborate to power. And that's strange. So I don't really believe that that is art. I don't believe that that is art. To be absorbed like that by the power.
So is it the duty of art and of artists to provoke?
Not just to provoke, to dismantle constantly and construct new. That's what art should do.
Right.
Dismantle. And of course, the thing stays, but there is a new building going on, something new, like a heartbeat. Art should be like a heartbeat.
Right. So you have obviously a very powerful message, and I wonder, why did you choose photography to convey your message? Because you could have done so many things. Obviously, you're a great photographer, but why photography?
Well, photography just like talking. Why do you talk? because I'm a writer. No, photography is like driving a car. There is such a thing as being a photographer. I'm not a photographer. I use photography to express myself. Everybody, I'm a photographer. Well, you drive the car, yes. What do you do with your car? Are you a pilot? There are 50 pilots in the world, 50 Formula One pilots, right? Mm-hmm. Or what you do with the car? Okay, you are a pilot, or you are a taxi driver, or you are a chauffeur. That's professional photographer. That's professional car driver. Mm-hmm. Huh? The other one, why they use the car? To go to work. You drive your car to go to work, but you're not a driver, okay? You go to Cartier-Bresson used to go on vacation with his car and take picture, okay? Right. You go to the war and photograph the war because you are interested in the war, what the expression of the war. But otherwise, driving a car doesn't mean you are a pilot. So photography is exactly the same.
I think
when you
difference.
say a writer, you don't mean somebody just because he can write, because he's an author, because he's got an idea that he expressed by writing. Photography is exactly the same. Of course, it's the most incredible art, the easiest, the most democratic. Everybody's got a camera now in the pocket. Everybody can take the picture. Everybody can drive a car. Everybody can write. But are you an author?
Yeah.
That's the point.
But I think there's a difference. Even if you're a good war photographer, you take something that is there, whereas you created images,
well,
right? You went around
something else. Now, what I intend for me, modern photographer, is a combination of different professions. You have to be an author, you have to have a story, and then you have to be a screenwriter. I mean, how do I write? How do I put my story together? How do I visualize the story? And okay, I visualize in a place like that. And then you have to be a set designer. You have to choose the location exactly. And then you have to be a movie director, because in my story there are 3 people running. How do they run? No, light, right. So you have to be a film director, and then you have to be director of photography. The Gegenlicht with the light, side, and then at the end you are the photographer, the cameraman that has got all that professionality inside, and you click. That's a modern photographer. But if you are a war reporter, you get there, the scene is there, the people dying is there, the tank are there smoking, you got everything set up. You just have to click. Right.
And it creates real history, because in the old days it was whatever somebody interpreted or said. Now you have facts.
Photography is a human memory. Since there is photography, we got the history of humanity. Before it was just fake news. The Bible is a fake news. Il Vangelo is fake news. Everything is a fake news until photography got there.
And so would it be fair to say that you have, I think you said so once, studied the human condition and put the finger on it with your photography?
Well, not me. The art, okay, let's go back to that. No, art is art. Not just it's a good composition, nice color together. When you do that kind of art, the best you can do it is mediocrity. The final and unique task of art is analyzing the human condition. Just think. And you can do it like Pollock, abstract, but it's still human condition, or Mondrian with the, or you can do with Munch, the script. I know it's all human condition. The great art is always has got to do with human condition, and has to be there to be a witness of our condition.
Right.
Otherwise, no sense.
And if done well, I think the difference is also, to paraphrase it, I remember seeing your photography back when I was a kid, and it literally made you stop, and you had to take a position vis-a-vis this. You know, you had to think, you had to look at it, be silent, think about it, and decide which position you take on the very subject you raised.
Yeah, but you know, humanity, people like aesthetical thing, and my photography, just not everybody really understands.
No. There was protests, and there was people, you know, rioting against it even. So that means you put something into humanity's face.
Disturbing.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was what you wanted to do, right?
No, really. No, it did disturb a lot of people, but it also made a lot of people understanding. So, well. If you please everybody, that means that you did something very mediocre.
Well, then you're in the sphere of marketing. You give people what they want and not what they need.
If you want success, just listen what marketing says to do, and you have to do just the opposite all the time. Marketing people are there to tell me what I shouldn't do.
Yeah, it's a kind of a sentiment I share and an experience I share.
They are very important for me.
Right.
You know, those marketing people that they know about what the people want.
They have statistics to prove it.
Yeah, sure. They got statistics. It's the most ridiculous. Sometimes I think somebody work in marketing, and in the morning when they drive their children to school, you know, like 12-year-old child, they say, "Mama or Papa, what you do?" What they tell them? What they tell their children? I do marketing. What do you do? Cos'è Papa? What is Papa? What is marketing? Well, if you do the fireman, the policeman, the Tischler, that was good, but marketing is ridiculous.
Yeah, you're right. So maybe in summary, since you said some powerful words about that for the young people out there, which is where we need to start, right? So your core message, if you would sum it up again here in the Dissident Temple.
Dissident, total. High on subversion. That's what we try to do here. And I tell you, it's not easy. Huh? It's much easier to conform, be a nice kid. Oh, great. You did it well. My compliment. Listen, to do anything you do, if you're not the first one to be embarrassed of what you do, means that what you do is not so good. So, being embarrassed of your own work means you are on a road that yourself you can't control really. And there where you have to be to understand what's happening. Otherwise it doesn't work. Otherwise you're not needed.
Right.
You're not needed.
Just feeding the machine.
Yeah.
So to create something that has value, you need to go where nobody else has gone, and you need to dare to be embarrassed.
Yeah, and, you know, say, well, that you have to question your own conscience too. Is it, you know, the morality is something that we know very well, instinctively, what is the real morality. But then there is an added morality that we accept from was nicht verboten ist, ist obligatorisch.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's the Swiss way.
No other chance.
Right.
You shouldn't.
Well, we don't have places like this.
Get into verboten a little bit, probably it's interesting.
Yeah.
And if it is obligatory, ask why.
Challenge the status quo.
Yeah.
Dare to be out there on the edge.
Yeah.
Which is something you've done brilliantly for many, many years. So what can we expect in the
I don't know.
years to come? You invent every day?
Well, I don't invent. I just try to be what I feel And sometimes it's good day, sometimes it's less good day, and then you walk in the street or you listen to somebody talking and you get a message somehow, and that's it. You have to be like a reporter. You have to be the witness of your time. That's it. You be the witness of your time.
And you still demand that you have absolute carte blanche, so you decide, you do.
Well, carte blanche, I don't know what it is. I'm working. I will be working until I die, that's for sure. I don't go retirement till I die. Retirement what? I do retire from what I like to do.
Well, you've managed to do exactly what is your passion, right? So it's not
Yeah.
a job
Why
which you're doing.
Why shouldn't I? I'm responsible for my life.
Right.
Everybody is. Yeah.
So that's also the key to happiness, to do what you want and only what you want.
Well, try. Not to do, but try.
Hustle.
It's not easy. Not easy. But if it is easy, if it is comfortable and easy, it's stupid. Yeah. That's what young people now get to that thing. Everything getting easy, comfortable, and getting stupid. And they're not stupid, because there are incredible young people now.
But basically, nothing worth having is easy.
But the whole society is going for easy and comfortable. And I don't know if it has to be difficult, it's not difficult, but it doesn't have to be easy, like that way. For me, I find that easy very hard, very difficult. Yeah.
Right. Very good.
It's kind of easy, okay?
Thank you so much.
Ciao.
Good.